from Meadowview Elementary School. My name is Erica Scott. I'm the Family Resource Coordinator at Meadowview.
And my name's Carrie Prater. I'm the principal, and we have two awesome young men here with us tonight helping us with our cooking and being chefs with us this evening. We have Darshawn Murphy and we have James Durbin. So they are going to do some cooking with us this evening and really help show you how to make some great vegetable stir fry.
This dinner is presented through a program called the Dinner Table Project, which is a partnership with the Hardin County Schools, the Hardin County Extension Office, and the Communicare Regional Prevention Center. We have sent these boxes home with all of our Meadowview students. Inside the box is where families can put their electronics and kind of put them in quarantine, if you will, for just a little bit so that families can enjoy a dinner together without the electronics. So, and also on the box are some conversation starters for the conversation. It's just a time to spend together with family.
So tonight when we're cooking together, we're going to make vegetable and chicken stir fry. So let's get cooking. All right, so we have got our hands all washed. Everybody got their hands good and washed? Yes. And you got your sleeves pulled up, ready to go? All right. So we are here to make vegetable stir fry today. And I have some great helpers that are going to help me with this. And so we have some ingredients we want to share. So I'm going to have you hold some things. Can you hold this? So we're going to have some mixed vegetables. We have frozen vegetables to make it a lot easier on ourselves with prep for our stir fry tonight. James, you want to show them what we've got right here?
I don't know what it is.
It's frozen but already cooked chicken breast that are already prepared and easy to go. They've already got all of the seasonings on them, so that will make our cooking a lot easier as well. We'll be able to just put that in our skillet with our vegetables. Okay, and we also have a lot of other ingredients over here, don't we, boys? Lots of things that we're going to have to use. What have we got here?
Onion.
We have a big, nice Vidalia onion. It's going to be sweet when we cook. This is ground ginger, and that's a spice that we're going to use. All right.
Soy sauce.
Okay, we also have, it looks like soy sauce because this is exactly what packaging of soy sauce would look like, but it's actually sesame seed oil.
Sesame seed oil.
Yeah, we're going to cook with that. That's what we're going to put in our skillet in a few minutes. What do we have there, Darshawn? Soy sauce.
Soy sauce.
Awesome. So we also have some awesome Asian sweet chili sauce that we're going to be using tonight. That might give us a little zing in our food. We also have this, which is it's cornstarch, and so it thickens things up. We're going to use that tonight. That's great. James has here for us some olive oil. We're going to use that too in our pan tonight. We'll use that in combination with our sesame oil. And we have a couple more ingredients. Let's see. What do we have there?
This is chicken broth.
All right. Get some chicken broth. All right. Ooh, wonder what we're going to use, how we're going to use this. This is good and sweet.
What is it?
This is brown sugar. Have you ever used brown sugar when you cook before? Yeah?
Yes.
It's really, really good, and it's sweet, so we're going to use that. And we already have our rice measured out, so we're actually going to have some brown rice that we have for our meal tonight. We'll be using that. All right, so what do we need when we're cooking? When we start cooking, we need something.
Instructions.
We do need instructions. Do we know what instructions are called when we cook? It's got a specific name.
Cookbook? Recipe.
Cookbook has a lot of recipes in it, you're right. And so this is a recipe, so it gives us all of our ingredients, and then it tells us exactly what to do. It has specific instructions. So we've already gone through all of our ingredients. So it says here, when you all want to look at that, it says in a large nonstick skillet. Do we have one of those?
Yes.
Where's our skillet?
Right there.
Got it right there, all right. And it says what we're going to do is we're going to heat our olive oil over medium-high heat. So, do you see your olive oil down here? Why don't you grab that for me? And we've got to find olive oil up here and see how much it tells us to use.
2 tablespoons of olive oil.
2 tablespoons. So, a tablespoon is going to be one of the smaller ones. So what we're first going to do is we're going to put our 2 tablespoons of olive oil into our skillet. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hold this over and see if you can just kind of pour that in. We're going to pour real Easy, okay? Just a little. You're doing fine. Good. There's our first one, and we need one more. It said we needed 2. Good job. All right. All right, now let's go back and let's look. We've got our oil in our skillet. We need to get it to start heating up, so we're going to turn on this burner and get it good and hot. So the next thing it says do, we're heating our oil. What does this say?
Add in oil,
Onion.
onion, and chicken.
All right, so we've got to cut up our onion though. This is something that the adult would want to do, is cut up your onion, because this would be something using something sharp. I'm going to cut up this onion. This is a really large onion.
This smells good.
Does
like
it?
pizza.
Yeah, and I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because I don't want it to get too hot too fast.
At the oil. It's smelling up. You can see it's moving.
It's moving? Why do you think it's moving? I think that's a good observation. Why do you think it's doing that?
Because it's getting hotter.
Because it's getting hot. That's exactly right.
How much onion do we need?
Well, that is a great question. Where do you think we can find that answer? 1 medium onion diced. So when you go to dice an onion, I just try to cut mine. I probably don't do it the Martha Stewart way or the Rachel Ray way. We just do it however we can get it diced. And we will cut it up, and I cut it one way. And then I just go back across it in the different direction here, so that, but in about little bitty, probably 1/4 inch lines. And this is a really, really large onion. And since it's so big, we're not going to use the whole thing because it only calls for a medium-sized onion, and we don't want to overpower what we're eating. What's happening here while we're cutting up our... It is steaming. What do you think's happening inside the pot?
The water is boiling.
The water is boiling. It is. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull this back over. And our recipe said that we need to put in our onion and our chicken. So I'll spread our oil around just a little bit.
Are we supposed to put the onion with the chicken?
It said the onion and the chicken. So we're going to put our onion in.
That's gonna be good.
Huh?
I said that's going to be good.
You think that's going to be really good? I think you are right. So then let's look at our recipe again. We have to keep going back to our recipe, and let's see what it says to do. How much chicken do we need? That's 1 pound.
1 pound chicken breast diced.
Guess what? We don't have to cut up any chicken. That's what's so awesome about this great chicken that we have, because it is already cooked up and ready to go. So it is 1.37 pounds. So we're going to use just about all of this package.
Just warm it up.
Yeah, we got to get it all good and warmed up. So we're going to go ahead and get it put in there. And since our pot is boiling, we're going to take this lid off. And look, is that boiling good in there?
Yes.
Can you see it? It is, isn't it?
We did have those same things.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah, it's good. So we're going to, since it's hot over that, I'm going to pour this in. Okay? We're going to pour it in. All right. We're going to stir it up a little bit. So the next thing it says do, we're going to do this for 3 to 5 minutes. So here's what I'm going to let you do. Okay? I want you to be careful because this is hot, but I'm going to let you stir this around. Okay? And you don't have to stir it the whole time, but I just kind of want you to stir it together, and then we'll just stop and let it cook for about 3 to 5 minutes. All right, so Darshan's going to do that for us. And we're going to set a quick timer for about 4 minutes, because it said 3 to 5. All right, I think that's good. We're going to let it cook. And then we're going to look back at our recipe, and we're going to see what we need to do next. So then it says after 3 to 5 minutes, then what are we going to do? Stir in our
frozen vegetables and heat through.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put our vegetables in there, and we're going to let them cook for a while, and they're going to cook. But while that's all cooking, we're going to have time to make our stir-fry sauce, which I think that'll be great, and that's what's going to go over our food at the end. We've got a nice bowl there that we're going to use our sauce in, and we can actually go ahead and start measuring out some of our ingredients. Do you think you all will be really good at measuring?
Yes. what kind of measuring thing do we need?
So we need several different kinds of measuring things. Measuring items, we're going to use spoons and we're going to use measuring cups, okay? So the first thing we need to do is get the chicken stock, which is also chicken broth, that we're going to use a half a cup. I'm going to hold the cup and you can pour the chicken broth into this cup, okay?
Okay.
All right, so pour it in here and we're going to hold it over our bowl. Part of the reason we do that is so that if we make a mess and we spill a little, it goes in our bowl where we're going to be cooking. Perfect. Can you pick this up and stir it around just like Darshawn was doing a second ago? Let me see what you got. Great job. So the next ingredient we need on our stir fry sauce is the sweet chili sauce. Oh, this is what we said might give it the kick, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it says 1/4 of a cup.
Okay.
All right, so can you look down there and see what we can find? So fill that up. It's kind of thick, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, that looks great. Good job, Darshawn. Good job. It does say it's almost done. Now, it did say 3 to 5 minutes, and it said also till cooked through. So since our chicken was frozen, we kind of want to make for sure that it thawed out while it was cooking. But we still have to add all of our vegetables, don't we? All right. So it says we need 2 pounds of the Asian medley stir fry vegetables. So if you look at this, this is a 3-pound bag, a 3-pound and a 4-ounce bag. So this is more than we need, right? And this comes with its own sauce. So if you don't want to try to make all of the sauces yourself, you can always use the sauces that come in the packets. They come with all of their own sauces. We're going to pour these in there. Not all of them. We're going to pour a good amount though, because we want some good vegetables, right? Look at all those colors in there. Did you know that if you eat the rainbow, it's really healthy for you? All right, James, can you stir that around?
You can't eat a rainbow.
Well, you can't eat a literal rainbow, but this is a rainbow of colors, right? Look at all the different colors in there.
They even got baby tiny corn.
There is baby corn in there. Have you ever had baby corn before?
have.
Have you? You're going to get to try something new tonight, James. All right, so let me show you a little trick. If you turn it over like this, you kind of push it around. It's a little easier to stir, okay? All right? Yes, you're doing a great job. All right, and then we're going to let it cook. So can you just set this to the side? All right, I'm also going to give our rice a little stir here. See how it's doing? Rice takes quite a while to cook. Okay, let's go back to our sauce now. We need soy sauce next. Take this and we're going to fill this up. It's 1/4 a cup, so you're going to pour it into this. We're going to pour it over our bowl. You're doing a great job. All right, pour that in there. So one of the things we're going to get to do now is we are going to put in some of our seasonings. We will do our brown sugar. You want to try stirring those around now?
Yes.
What you got?
I got pockets.
Pockets are cool.
But this kind of thing doesn't have regular pockets. This is just for like tools.
So what kind of tools do you think you would keep in your pockets on your apron?
A lot of things.
You want to maybe keep your, you might keep your towel, or you might
I might keep my towel, these.
Like seasoning?
Seasoning, if you had something you
I
needed
would
to
use
carry.
all- I would
Maybe
put
your
all-
pot holder, right? You might want to
I
use your
try
pot
to
holder.
put all my tools.
Yeah, or you could just put your hands right there and just look cool while you're
What is
standing
this
there, right? All right, so we're going to get our brown sugar here. We're going to measure it out. One of the things you want to do when you are measuring brown sugar is you want to pack it into your measuring cup, because that is usually what it means. So when they tell you 1/4 a cup, you don't want to just lightly put it in there. So I usually take my measuring cup and I scoop it down in there and I press it in, and then that gets us a good, nice, heavy measuring cup full of brown sugar. So we're going to dump it down in there just like that. We used 1/4 of a cup, or 1/4 of a cup. We still need a few more things in our sauce. Oh, we need this sesame oil that you had earlier. We're going to try that, okay?
Okay.
So it says 1 teaspoon. Do you have a teaspoon down there, James?
What's a teaspoon? Like a 1 teaspoon?
Uh-huh, it'll say TSP. That is perfect. You found exactly what we needed. All right, can you pour the
If
sesame
you
oil?
use this one, you would have to do 2, or I think.
Yes, because that's a half, and we're going to need that one in just a second. Perfect. All right. We are going to need this half of a teaspoon of dried ginger.
I think we have to scoop it.
Yes, because if we poured this, it might make a big
Giant
mess, right? So I'm just going to stick my little measuring spoon down in there.
Little measuring spoon.
Yep, my little measuring spoon, and then I'm going to dump it right down in there.
What kind of sauce will this be?
So this is a stir-fry sauce because we're making stir-fry chicken and vegetables, right? All right, James, you want to try to stir that up for me?
How long is this supposed to cook again?
Well, it says that it needs to cook until the veggies are heated through, so it's going to take a little while because that's a lot of veggies in there. Those are sugar snap peas, which are a really great source of vitamin C. Did you know that?
No.
And then we're going to put in our teaspoon of cornstarch. This is also something you would dip in. And cornstarch makes things thicker, so that's going to make our sauce thicker. So Darshawn, what I'm going to have you do, we've now gone through all of our ingredients. We're going to have to stir it together, okay? But I'm going to give you, you could use a fork or a spoon. A fork would be good. It'd be better than a spoon because it has the tines on it, but you can also use a whisk, and that's what we're going to use. So when you use the whisk, we would just kind of hold the bowl and we would stir gently like this and mix it together. So we're going to let Darshawn try that. I think he could do that very well. Why don't you try that? All right, great job. You're a quick learner, aren't you? All right, so we're going to actually put the sauce over the vegetables, but they have to get a little more cooked through. So I'm going to check on those while Darshawn's stirring that up really good. Can I check on that for just a second? You look like you're doing a great job. We're going to turn this up just a little bit higher because I think we've got some water in here from our frozen vegetables that we need to have evaporate and cook out. Yep, and that's because our vegetables are a really good source of water. They hold a lot of water, which is really good for your body too, and that's part of what makes them so filling. They have a lot of fiber and a lot of water in them. So we're going to turn it up as high as it can go, and we're going to let it cook here for a little while. All right, I think you got that stirred up well, don't you? We'll just kind of leave that in there, and in a minute we'll give it one more good stir before we put it on our skillet. So I think we are going to just need to let this cook for a minute. We've got all of our things put together, and then we'll come back in a few minutes and put our meal together. So we have let our rice has been cooking for almost 45 minutes, and our meal is just about ready to go. So the last thing on our recipe down here, let's look at our recipe one more time and figure it out. It says pour sauce over
Chicken and vegetables
and bring it
to boil to
thicken. So, and then serve over the rice, and that's it. So what we've got to do now is we've got our sauce over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it one more. Can you give it one more? You did such a great job stirring. Stir it one more time so if anything is kind of settled down in there, we'll give it a good stir. All right, and then we're going to pour it over our vegetables. And since this is over the heat, I'm going to pour it over there. All right, and then I'm going to let James give it a little stir. But you got to be careful. There's a lot of liquid in there now, okay?
It makes a gooey sound.
It makes a gooey sound. Yep, and that's all the liquid, and that sauce is going to go in there. We want it to coat all of our vegetables.
It smells like soy sauce.
And it has soy sauce in it, doesn't it? In the recipe. We want it to coat all of our chicken and all of our vegetables so that it gets all of that great flavor from our sauce that we made. All right, and then we're going to let it just cook for a minute. It says it needs to thicken up. So it's got to get hot in there. This is a really large skillet of food, isn't it? Well, this would definitely be enough food, though, for a family of 4 to 5 people. I think if you made a little bit more rice than we made, you could definitely make sure that if you had 4 people eating one night together, then you would have enough. And if you had less than 4, guess what you would have? You'd have leftovers that you could take with you to lunch the next day, or you could eat for another meal. So that would be perfect. So I'm going to check on our rice here. Now this is really hot, so I've got to use my pot holder glove. Get that stirred. So So our rice looks really good. You see what this is doing right here?
It smells really good.
It does smell good, doesn't it? So what's that doing right there?
Boiling.
Boiling, and that's what it said, let it boil. That'll help it get thickened up. So we're gonna let it boil for a second. So we've got our plate that we're gonna use here. We're gonna plate up our food. We've got a really colorful plate for some really colorful food, don't we? And I know that we had sent home, boys and girls, some coloring sheets talking about eating the rainbow and eating lots of different colors of food. And that's what we tried to show you here tonight with all of our food, is to eat the rainbow. So what do we need to put first on our plate? What do you think? Probably going to put our rice first, okay?
Yes.
Get us a serving of rice. Nice brown rice here that you can have. Then take the same spoon, I'm going to come over here and kind of stir it around a little bit. It's got all this good sauce. Now get us a good helping of some vegetables with some chicken. Put that right on top. And the great thing about the sauce is that if you really like it and you want to put some on your rice, you can just take some of that out and put it around there. And we have a plate of our finished meal.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight for the stir-fry meal. Tony will like to take over with the Hardin County Extension Office.
And I'd like to thank Meadowview Elementary for coming out and preparing such a wonderful meal. As you will see on the video, is that they covered the grains, the vegetables, the protein, and I'm quite sure you can add whatever dairy products or whatever you want to it to make it a complete meal. Here at the Extension Office, we do all sorts of things, so look on the Facebook page to keep updated with things that we have for kids, for as virtual learning, activities that different members of the Hardin County team have prepared. And also there's a survey that is going to be sent out. Cherish will send them out and to the different schools that participated in the dinner table project. But for the parents and the kids that participated last night during the meal, we have a little bowl and different things for them to take home to their parents for participating. And also the kids have something in there for them as well. And we would like, we would encourage different ones to, if they want to participate in the dinner table project, please let your family resource person know, whoever it is at the school. I do appreciate Meadowview for coming out and doing such a wonderful job.